Welcome. Hold up, let me switch to the other screen. All right. Well, hope everybody had a decent day. Yeah, we're back. Tough. You know, just a lot of volatility in the market recently. It's nothing new. Definitely was not surprised to see the fall today in the market. It's just kind of, at this point, after the last 2 or 3 weeks, it happens. You get these, 2-3 hour pretty big drops on indexes, and we got that again today. The 10-year yields were rising again. Just not good. The indexes, especially tech, just huge sell-offs, especially in the afternoon. Personally, I started off like the first couple hours of the day very, very well. I was in like 3 different day trades. I made a very good amount on all 3 of the day trades. I day trade options in the morning, but then I just ended up staying in one trade, and I didn't really stop myself out, which I should have. And that pretty much wiped out all the gains from my first 3 trades of the day. So don't take my advice there at all. But yeah, I mean, it does suck. Ended up red for the day, probably my 7th or 8th red day this year. I don't know how many trading days there's been, but it happens. You can't get a perfect day every single day. And yesterday and Tuesday were both very, very good. Monday was a huge day for me. I didn't really talk about it too much, but Monday was very nice. Yesterday was pretty flat for me, and then today was my first red day this week. Hopefully you're hanging in there. The trades are hanging in there, so we're gonna go over all the trades. Right now we're looking at Bitcoin. This trade that I put out on Sunday night, doing very well. It's up 14% since I alerted it on Twitter and in the Discord. Bitcoin is, detaching itself from the market today. It seems like the trade's up 14%. So good stuff on Bitcoin. It looked great down here with the wedge, the butterfly, the divergence. And this is what happens when the technical is set up like that on Bitcoin. Technicals work amazingly on Bitcoin. It's pivoting. We're going for like the right under 55K as the target. But remember, the trade's up 14%. Whenever you want to take profits, go for it. Let's talk about the market next, just like the S&P 500, which is like the index that I choose to use. I mean, different people use different indexes, but I just use the S&P. It's decently diversified throughout different sectors. You fell back under the channel. This is the 3rd time you've been under the channel. The last 2 times you fell under the channel on the S&P 500, you were able to rally back inside. You never really got fall through price action. But this is the 3rd time now. I don't know how many times we're going to be falling under the channel and then coming right back in. As of right now, it's not looking great. I mean, futures are also down. It's not like futures are rallying. I mean, they could rally overnight. It's very early into the night. You still have like 12 and a half hours until the market opens. But even futures are under the flag. Just technical speaking, doesn't look great. But who knows? Maybe it's another fake out. You're just going to have to wait and see. I think tomorrow, if you really start selling off in the morning, it could get ugly again. It's definitely much higher risk than it has been, or especially since it was in January. Last month even was a little bit weird, but yeah, I mean, the title of the stream is the stock market bull run over. I don't think the macro bull run is over. That's just my opinion, but I would not be surprised if we got a common retrace. Now, what is a common retrace? Well, really, if we go from, let me look for the fibs. If we go from, I guess, just the last major swing low, which was all the way down here in October, and then we go all the way to the swing high from February, a common retrace could be like all the way down at 3,600. That would just be you'd be coming halfway back down. So I wouldn't be surprised if you just get a short-term correction, but at the same time, I'm hoping that you don't. I'm just being unbiased and honest. It's very, very possible, but I truly am hoping that it does, and I would love for it to just hop right back into the channel. I believe jobs numbers reports are coming out tomorrow. Thank you, Cheddar Freeze. Powell speaking, maybe. I mean, not maybe, but that's what the news is. And still just ongoing talks with the stimulus in the Senate, I believe. Do your own research there. I'm not a news source, but yeah, hopefully some sort of catalyst just helps out the market, because it's definitely tough. Futures were down a little bit more earlier. They're starting to bounce a bit. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Bitcoin in the market. We'll come back to it later probably. So we have about 50 people in here. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to send me a tip or get some merchandise, that's a pinned comment in the chat. And then one thing I want to also talk about, the one-on-one classes. Basically, in the beginning of January, I was running one-on-one classes for like 2 or 3 weeks. Did like 25 classes in those 2 or 3 weeks, and they went very, very well. I think we had great sessions. But then in February, I had to actually pause the one-on-one classes because I was very, very busy with school starting back up in February. So I couldn't really run the one-on-one classes last month. But now I've gotten more accustomed to the schedule and stuff. So today I decided, since I'm more free, to open those classes back up. I've gotten dozens of people asking me for one-on-one classes in the last few weeks. So now they're back. I just needed more free time because they do take a lot of time. So yeah, if you want to sign up for a one-on-one class, basically I answer literally any question you have about trading. I give you my full trading process. We can go over charts together, things you have questions about. And just any information I can give you, it's like all there in that one call, much more than you would get on the stream, honestly. So yeah, that's the first link in the description if you want to sign up for a one-on-one class. It's down below. This is literally the only paid thing in the free trading movement, because if I made the one-on-one classes free, I just would not be able to run them. There'd be too many signups, and it would just be unfair because I'd have to be picking randomly. I don't know. There's no way to do it without putting a paywall there, just so I'm not doing like 30 classes a day, because there's not even 30 hours in the day. But yeah, first link in the description if you want to sign up for a one-on-one class. Just wanted to let you know the link's not going to be open for a long time. Whenever I get busy in school again, I'm going to have to pause them again. I'm already really busy without them as it is. So yeah, if you want to check it out, it's the first link in the description. I might be closing them by next week. I might be closing them within 3 days. It just depends on how quickly slots get filled up, and I've already had a few people sign up even before the stream started. So yeah, I can't promise they're going to be around for the next month, but I'll just see. It depends on when they fill up. So yeah, first link in the description if you want to check it out. Let's get back to the stream. Let's check out everything. Let's talk about the trades first, and then we're going to go into like the specific charts. It's really bright. Let's hop on over to the other screen. Okay, trade sheet is holding up pretty decently, especially since yesterday and today were both red days for the indexes. The trade sheet looks pretty decent. Definitely, it was much better on Monday. If you were here on Monday, every single trade was green. That's not the case, as you can clearly see right here. So a lot of pullbacks on most of the trades. That's just what happens when the macro drops. But the big one today, UWMC, hit the target this morning pretty much right at open, and then it dropped. So yeah, UWMC hit the target of the trade. Profits were confirmed. 51% profit trade in 4 days. Let's go. I mean, the technicals looked great. Guy in hat spotted the harmonic. I spotted the double bottom. I saw the divergence. I put out the trade, I think, like last Wednesday or Thursday. And 4 days later, it hit the target this morning for 51% profit. I'm so happy about that. Kramer was talking about it yesterday. I think there was like Reddit hype behind it. And regardless of what it was, if a trade plays out, I'm happy always. Jeremy with the $40 donation. Let me fix my audio real quick. I'm lagging a little bit, it seems. All right, should be good. Let me put down the volume so it's not too loud. Jeremy with the $40 donation. Jeremy signed up for the one-on-one class. Awesome. So appreciate it. I'll be contacting you after the stream to try and schedule a time. And I look forward to the class. But other than that, BNT also hit the target today. That was a crypto trade that we went over on Sunday night. That hit the target today for 23% profit. Another stock that hit the target today was QSR for a 9% gain. Bitcoin, as I just showed you, is up 13% since I alerted it on Sunday. DD up 9%, Boeing up 9%. Those held up pretty well today with the market. FUBO was up. FUBO was up like 7% at one point after hours, but then it fell down. So now the FUBO trade is only up 2%, and PLTR also went up 5% after hours, and that's holding its gains for now. So those trades are up. Apple, it was up 4% at one point, it came back down to the entry. FEYE was up 5% at one point, it came back down to the entry. I put out ATRA and BigCommerce today, so they're pretty much still at the entry. We'll go over the charts and why I put them out. So this is CCIV. I'm really gonna spend some time on that chart tonight. This one's interesting. So I put out 3 different trades on CCIV. The second one that I put out, basically 3 different times, this trade was up 18%. It was 18% in profit from the entry of when I alerted it to like where it was when it was up 18% at like 32.50. It kept on going up 18%, then falling back down. And it basically, I think it was on Monday, the trade was still up 10% since I alerted it. The trade was up 10%. And if you're in the Discord, in the trade updates channel, I shared and I pinged everybody that there was a bear flag on CCIV. And that played out. The bear flag played out. It was warned about. It was very obvious. And it went from $32.50 at the high of the trade all the way down to $24 today. So if you're being very technical, yes, the trade did stop out, but 3 different times you had the opportunity to take 18% profits. And I did also say it was bearish when it was still up 10%. Then HYLN was up 12%. Now it's down 1%. BlackBerry's up 16%. Now it's down 2%. XL was up 19%. Now XL's down 3%. I think there was like a report that came out in XL today that was not good. SDC also was up 14%. Now it's down 3%. So in a lot of these trades, they were up huge. They were up double digits, and they really just fell a lot because the market, just the macro. That's what happens when the macro is falling. KNDI, no excuses. It just fell. No excuses there. It's down 7%. Hopefully it can reverse soon because it's nearing the stop loss level. And then I put out like a very short-term trade on CCIV today. Terrible timing. The trade started off well. It was up like I think 2 or 3% in like the first 10 minutes of the trade. And then the market fell much further in the afternoon and it got stopped out. But thankfully I put a very tight stop loss on that trade because it was right at the support when I put it out. So it was only a 3% loss. So who cares about a 3% loss when you have all of these, gainers? But that's like the recap on all the trades. We're going to go into the specific charts right now. And yeah, still super hyped about UWMC. Hopefully a lot of you were in on that. If you were in on the UWMC trade, drop a 1 in the chat. Let's see how many people were in on this huge gainer. Drop the number 1 in the chat if you were in on it. Let's head on over to the charts. Okay. How often do you exit trades before the price target is hit? Honestly, about like a quarter of the time. It just depends if like something bearish shows up on the chart, like a bear flag or bearish divergence, or if a bad article comes out, something like that. So it just depends on, if it's failing to break a resistance. If something changes, then yeah. Then I get out before and just take my profits. Remember, profit's always profit. You don't have to get to the target to take profits. It's just a technical level in which the price can reverse. So people that were in on the UWMC trade, the Cooler, Kevin, Tyler, Cheese Puff, Zach, Knight, and Shola, but Paul was not. Congratulations to everybody who was in. For people who weren't, I hope we can find another trade like that soon. It was definitely one of the biggest ones in a while, aside from QS and Fisker and Dogecoin. So yeah, let's go over all the specific trades. Remember, hit that like button. Let's get to 30 likes. We got 60 people in here and 20 likes. Come on. Hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream. Remember, no matter how bad, if the market, I'm knocking on wood right now, but if the market ever did like literally dump like how it did last March, I'm still streaming. I don't care what the market does. I'm always going to be showing up. No matter how bad things are looking, no matter how much the market falls. I'm here not for prices to go up. I'm here to teach everybody how to manage risk, how to trade, how to use technicals, how to find good stocks to trade. That's what I'm here for. More than trying to give out trades and stuff like that. I'm just here for education. That's my main goal. So yeah, let's go over all the trades. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're very close to 2,300 subs. We'd love to hit that by at the end of the week. And the other thing I was going to say, if you want to sign up for a one-on-one class, that's the first link in the description. And if you want to send me a tip or get some merchandise, that's the pinned comment in the chat. So yeah, let's go over all these charts. Appreciate the support, D. Let's start off with CCIV. We're just on the 4-hour right now. So let me just try and replicate what the trades looked like. So the first trade looked something like this, I think. Target was like up here, stop loss was like down there. You get the point. Basically, let me go on the 1 hour. Basically, the trade was up like 18% 3 different times. On this candle right here, on this candle right here, and on this candle right here. But then I noticed on Monday that it was showing a bear flag. And I alerted the Discord. This is why you need to be in the Discord if you want to join the links in the description. I alerted the Discord that there was a bear flag when it was right over here. The trade was still up 10% and it broke to the downside and then it just dumped. And it was a combination of the bear flag playing out and then the market just dumping. Then earlier today I was looking at the chart. It was at like pretty much around right here at like 26, I think somewhere around there. Put out another trade, but I had a very tight stop loss on it just because, you know, not trying to throw another deep stop loss after the first trade technically got stopped out, even though it was up a bunch of times. So I literally just threw a tight stop loss right under the support pretty much. That got stopped out. I alerted the Discord literally right when it got stopped out. And then after the stop, it fell probably like another like 5 or 6%. So yeah, that CCIV, I just saw some divergence. It was out of support. The last time I saw that, it did go up 18% 3 different times. Did not happen today. I really think, I mean, the trade started off good. The trade was up like 2 or 3% right when I posted it, you know, within minutes. But then the market started falling, so just unlucky there. At this point on CCIV, you're trying to hold on to this $24 support. If you don't, like really it's 24, and then after 24, your next support's like 20 bucks on CCIV. Let's go take a look. Let's just do Clover. Clover is not an official trade. The official trade got stopped out a while ago, but I know a lot of people, you know, care about Clover. This one's tough. You literally broke out of the falling wedge to the downside, not to the upside. You broke the falling wedge to the downside, so I deleted it off my chart. Honestly, on Clover, from a technical standpoint, it's not good. I mean, I tried to give it so many chances, but it just kept dropping. Not a good reaction to earnings or their presentation on Tuesday. And as I've been saying for a while on Clover, it's just really, there's too many bag holders in the float. Every time you get a bounce, it gets sold off because people are trying to cut their losses. And I think that's just really the scenario. Really, all I can say at this point in the short term on Clover is it kind of bounced off of the golden ratio. If you go from the swing low last week to the swing high on Monday, went down to the 1618, kind of bounced off of it, but that's on the 1 hour. I really don't know how much it matters. And if we're looking for a harmonic pattern, unfortunately, the PCZ, the pattern completion zone, is like, it's way under you. It's like at like 650 or 640, like in the low sixes. So I'm not calling that's going to go there. All I'm saying is it needs to, there's no support. I'm sorry, there's just no support unless you're talking Fibonacci, but you can always create a support, right? It can develop a support. Just because there's no support in history doesn't mean it can't create a support tomorrow and just hold a level all day or have a nice bounce. I mean, could you easily just get a reflex rally because of how much it's oversold? Yes. But it really is a 50-50 at this point because from a technical standpoint, there's no edge. You're not being shown a pattern or divergence or a support, but at the same time, you're not being shown anything bearish. It's just kind of neutral. There's nothing super bullish on the chart. There's nothing super bearish on the chart. It really just comes down to the price action, supply and demand. That's all it is on Clover. So that's that. FEYE. I like how it's still holding over 19, even though the market fell. The trade's only down not even 1%, so it's still pretty much around the entry. Again, on FEYE, as long as you're over $19, you're good. So it's still holding $19. Honestly, it's been bouncing off around like 19, maybe a little bit under. It's not even close to the stop loss. Trade's barely down. Might just require some patience. As long as you hold this level, you're good on FEYE. Yeah, I do think not 100%. I don't think it's ever 100%, but at some point, I do think Clover is going to get a nice reflex rally just because it went from $17 to $8, supply and demand. But I mean, we'll see. It could just require a lot of patience or not. It's just really hard to tell now that you broke all the supports. That's FEYE Fisker. It's not an official trade, just like Clover, but I know a lot of people care about it, so I'm going to go over it, including myself. It felt like crazy today. If you were on the stream yesterday, you were on the stream. What did I tell you on the stream? What did I talk about? The only thing I mentioned really on Fisker yesterday was this: a shooting star candlestick. Okay, this is called a shooting star candle. It's a bearish candle. Pretty much means that the price went up a lot during the day, but then it sold off and it could not hold those levels. So yesterday we went over this on stream. Fisker had a shooting star candle pattern. It was bearish, and then you tie that in with the market being down today. I just think there was major profit taking on Fisker today, very natural. So yeah, on Fisker still it's a 50-50. It's been a 50-50 over here. The target of the trade already hit. Until you really create more data, I can't really give you a probability because it can go either way. There's no support here, there's no resistance. You're actually near support, which is 2361. Honestly, as long as you're over 2361, you're good, but yeah. Until there's more data, I can't really give you a bearish or a bullish answer for the short term on Fisker. Then let's talk about the three new trades I put out today. ATRA is the first one. This chart has a lot going for it, I'm not gonna lie. I'd put a really tight stop loss only because that would mean you're breaking under the 200-day moving average, but if you want to loosen that stop loss, it's always your choice. But this chart's pretty interesting, okay? You're at the 200-day moving average, you closed right above it. You're showing some potential classic bullish divergence. You need the MACD to start waning again, but if you really do bounce off of this area, then it will. And then even on the 4-hour, you're showing potential classic bullish divergence. The MACD can easily go back to green if you start bouncing off this area. It just fell with the market. The trade started up like 2 or 3% intraday. So 200-day moving average, potential divergence, and you're at a huge major support. Okay, let me zoom out. As you can see, this 1590 level was your resistance for a very long time. Was your resistance over here, not really over there. So it was your resistance right over here on this double bottom that ended up sending it to much higher prices. So now you're trying to flip your previous resistance into a support. So there's a lot going for it. I think somebody also mentioned that there's like a demand line. However you want to chart that, it's pretty much at this demand line as well. So just a lot of things are lining up right at 16 bucks. I put out the trade. I put a tight stop, but you could definitely loosen it if you want to. That's ATRA, the first new trade I put out today. Second trade was FUBO. This one's also the last one wasn't too simple. It was kind of complex, but this one's very simple. Not really divergence. You were just pretty much at a demand line. If you go from this low over here to the candle wick on February 26th, you were at the demand line, and then you're also over a horizontal support, which is 33.29 on FUBO. So you're at a support and a demand line. Technicals look decent, and then I think maybe some news or something came out after hours, or a rumor. And at one point, this trade was up 6.5% after hours, but then it did fall, and I think it's only up like 2% after hours now. So that's FUBO, very simple trade. As long as you're above 33, you're good on FUBO. BigCommerce, another trade I put out today. This one's a long-term trade. We also traded this move right here on BigCommerce. There was a trade setup on it. It did crush the target, but the target hit regardless. And yeah, BigCommerce, you're showing potential hidden bullish divergence. I know some of you are going to say there's this wick right here, but that's really just kind of looks like a scam wick. Doesn't really look like that's where like the actual low was. It really just looks like this area was like the, you know, the movement of the low, like the swing low, right? Not the reflex low, but the swing low. That's something Mitch Ray talks about a decent amount. The reaction lows and then the actual reversal lows. But potential hidden bullish divergence if you're going off of the candle closes and not the candle wicks, and then you're pretty much just back at this, you know, previous area where it had a huge bounce off of. So potential double bottom, very simple trade. I like the company. I've used their service, and yeah, it's just back at where it was when I put out the first trade pretty much. There's a lot of trades out, so this is taking me a while for sure. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the coverage, and subscribe button. And if you want to sign up for a one-on-one class, the signups are not gonna be open for super long, probably a week, maybe 2 weeks. That's the first link in the description. Because I'm a little bit more free than I usually am in the next couple of weeks, but as soon as my schedule gets busy again, I'm gonna have to pause them. So yeah, I've had a lot of people over the last few weeks ask me for classes. This is the opportunity. Otherwise, unfortunately, whenever I get busy again, I have to, put them on pause. Smile Direct Club, not great. Not great. This trade was up 14% at one point. It was up 14%. And now this trade is down 3%, and it broke the demand line today. Unfortunately. It really has not ever broken this demand line since April of last year. It's not broken this demand line. So it just comes down to earnings here. If they have good earnings and, well, people react to the earnings well, it can go up, or vice versa. I mean, not even if they have good earnings, because a lot of companies have been having good earnings and the price still drops. So it's very weird. It just, whatever the reaction to earnings is will probably be the result, but manage your risk because it did break the demand line. Apple fell 2.5% today. Trade was up 4% at one point, kind of didn't really hold over this resistance, and then it just fell with the rest of tech. Pretty much all of tech has been selling off. Apple is just back at the entry. You're at like a horizontal support, and then you already did bounce off of like the demand line. So as long as you're above like 120 on Apple, you're good. There's a lot of trades to go over. KNDI, this is the worst performer for the week. The entry of the trade was up at 7:30. So the trade is down 7%. This is the worst trade so far this week. You're right at support though. You're right at the 200-day moving average, and you're right on the horizontal support, which was your low from January. So you're at the make or break area on KNDI. If you go a little bit lower, definitely take caution. It's pretty close to the stop loss. So you're hoping that this can be the reversal point. Palantir is up 5% after hours. I don't know if there was like news or anything. I think maybe I saw on Twitter, so again, it's Twitter, but I think Kathy Wood bought more Palantir maybe. Somebody fact check me if I'm wrong. But I believe maybe that was why it went up 5%. But yeah, Palantir, the trade's up 5% after hours. It was pretty much back down at the entry when the market closed, but now it's up 5% after hours. Hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour and on the daily. So as long as you're over 23 here. Thank you for confirming that for me. So yeah, nice stuff. Hylion always gives me issues. It really does. Every single time I post a trade on Hylion, it starts off so well, and then something just happens, and then today it was just the market. The Hylion trade at one point was up 12%. Now it's down almost 2%. It was moving. It was literally 70% of the way to the target of the trade. I even put like a lower target on this trade so I can get the target to hit. But every single time, I need to just stop putting out trades on Hylion, because I swear every time I put out a trade on Hylion, that's when the market just falls in the next couple of days. It's just so, it's always the market that messes up the trades I put out on Hylion, which sucks. Like even on this move right here, the market messed it up. Like terrible luck with the macro. And unfortunately, you did close under the support. So tomorrow's a big day for it. T Repairman did a quick scalp on the CCIV alert. Thank you for that, man. Really glad to hear that, because yeah, that trade did start up like 3%. So I posted it. The trade went up 3% like within 10 minutes, and then it just fell, and then it got stopped out for 3%. So either you walked away with a 3% profit or a 3% loss. It was one of the two. So hopefully I'm glad to hear that you were on the right side of it. And yeah, Hylion, still have a lot more to go over. BlackBerry, you're still developing hidden bullish divergence on the daily. On the 4-hour, it's all right. I don't think this falling wedge matters anymore. I think you're just in between $10 and 11. If you get over 11, that's bullish. If you fall under 10, that's bearish. This trade was up like 18% at one point last week when all the red stocks were pumping, even though I only put it out because of technicals. And now the trade's back down with the rest of the market. Just most of the trades, the macro just pulled back, and that's just what happened with a lot of the trades. That's just how it goes. Same exact thing with XL, except I do believe that they, I didn't even know that actually hit the stop. It wicked down to the stop, but then it closed higher, so didn't actually close the candle there, but it just depends on how you played it. Another very frustrating trade, just a lot of these trades, I wish I would just put lower targets on the trades, because pretty much all of the trades were up double digits on Monday. Not all of them, but like most of these trades were up very, very nicely. XL was up 18% at one point. And again, just like most of the other trades I've been showing you, it got like 70% of the way to the target. Like a lot of these trades, they were starting off well. They were doing exactly what I was hoping for them to do. Everything was going according to plan. but the macro just screwed it up. That's really all it was. You know, everything was going fine. Trades were up very, very nicely, both on Monday and Tuesday, and then today the macro, it just pulled things, you know. As I always said, the technicals don't matter when the whole entire market is panic selling. That's just kind of what happened. It does suck, but that's just a part of the game, you know. That's why, especially in volatile times like these, you want to just be taking your profits and then getting out if you're comfortable with your profits, right? Bots space with the $40. I assume that's the $40 for the one-on-one class. So appreciate it very much. I'll be checking your you know, form information, and then I'll be reaching out to you after the stream to schedule a time for the class. So thank you for signing up. Look forward to having the call at some point soon. If anybody else wants to sign up for a one-on-one class, you've already had like I think 5 people sign up for the one-on-one class today. It's the first link in the description. It's an hour-long class. I give you my full trading process. You can ask me literally any sort of question related to trading. So yeah, it's the first link in the description, and limited time only. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that so everybody signs up. I genuinely mean it, because when I get busy, I need to pause the classes. That's why I paused them for all of February, because I was just too busy. So I might literally close them in 2 days, maybe in a week, but for all the people who've been asking about those, they're back for now. That's all I'm saying, for now. I'll let you know when they're going to be paused. But yeah, appreciate it. DD got pretty close to target today. It actually held up nicely. The trade was up the trade's up 9%, but it was up 2% today. Nice. It's around the profit taking areas. Whenever you want to take profits, go for it. Yeah, it's working. At least one thing is working, although the market is dumping. And then the other one, I mean, there's a couple. Boeing as well. It was up 2% today. This trade is currently up, well, it was up 12% in the morning. Now it's only up 9%. So DD held very nicely today. Boeing held very nicely today. Both of those are up 2%, and the trades are up 9%. And then QSR hit the target today. It went right to the target, and then it pulled back. So perfect. And pretty much my target was just because it was the same high from January 14th. It went right back there, and then it pulled back. 9% profit in I think like a week and a half on this swing trade. Very clean double bottom. That's exactly how you want a double bottom to play out, and that's typically how they do play out when the market is not going super volatile, and thankfully it just still did. Then another trade that hit the target, UWMC, it definitely surpassed the target a lot. If you would have not sold, you could have actually been up like 48%. That's just crypto for you. But regardless, it hit the target for a 23% profit. This was literally, somebody requested in the chat, and then I posted it in front of you all. I alerted the trade live on stream on Sunday night. It was a beautiful falling wedge with classic bullish divergence, and boom, it just went right to the target. Pretty much all the trade did was go up. So target got achieved on the BNT crypto trade for 23% in like 2 days. And then we'll talk about this in a second. Let me just read the chat. Got some SPY calls right now, good idea or bad? Honestly, 50-50. SPY calls or SPY puts, in my opinion, right now are a 50-50. I trade SPY calls very, very often, especially in the last few weeks, but you're at a very weird area on the market. And we can go back to the S&P and talk about it again, but yeah, UWMC hit the target this morning right at the open. It was much higher pre-market. It was, yeah, I don't remember exactly what it went to pre-market, but it was definitely much higher. It hit the target for a 51% profit gain. So awesome. And 4 days, 51% profits. Shout out to Guy and Half for spotting the PCZ. Shout out to myself for spotting the double bottom and divergence. Joint effort. A lot of credit to him. And, you know, it got followed by Reddit hype and Kramer tweeting about it yesterday. The trade was already up like 8% or 9% before all that hype even started. But then the hype did start, and then it carried us to the target. So awesome. And then it pulled back very heavily after hitting the target. So yeah, hit the target right at open pretty much. 51% profit on UWMC secured. Congratulations to whoever was in on this trade. And then similar to UWMC, Rocket, I put out a buy signal on Rocket at $19, but my target was 24. I had literally no way of knowing that Rocket would go that insane, but it did. So it was like a casual trade. There was no way I could have known, because I put out that trade like 2 weeks ago or last week maybe. There's no way I could have anticipated, 10 days in advance that Rocket would do this. But that's what it did yesterday, and then today it pretty much fell 33%. Let me breathe for a second. So that covers all the trades. And yeah, somebody was asking about Bitcoin. We can just go back to it. Bitcoin trade is up 13% currently. It's in between the support at $50,000. That's like your psychological support. As long as you're over 50K, you're good. And then your resistance, it actually went right to the resistance this morning. I had this resistance on the chart when I posted the trade. It went right to the resistance, and then it pulled back. 52,708 was your resistance from over here, this little pivot right there, on February 17th. So yeah, pretty much hit that, pulled back a little bit. It's nearing the profit taking areas. Whenever you want to take profit on the Bitcoin trade, go for it. But it's Bitcoin, and we know what it does a lot of the time. Just saying. Let's see what happens with it. And then if we go on the daily, you're developing triple classic bullish divergence. Yeah. From this low to the next one, you made lower lows, increasing negative momentum, and then you've been making higher lows on price, very obviously. So if your MACD cross is already green on Bitcoin on the daily, who knows? Yeah, it's Bitcoin. Futures are back down. They're down almost 0.5% on the S&P 500. They're almost at pretty much their lows. It sucks for sure. I just looked at it. Yeah, you're definitely back under the channel. You're not in the channel. It's faked out twice. I don't know if it's going to fake out the third time, but not looking good right now for tomorrow. Hopefully it changes overnight, but we know how it's been going lately. Nothing you can really do. One thing it is trying to hold is the same low from last week. So it's trying to hold the same exact low. If it can, great, but who knows? That's why, like with SPY calls, of course, like if it does fake out once again, it could literally run all the way back up to the top of the channel, which would be like 4,000 on the S&P. Well, like what if it doesn't? That's the thing. That's what makes it such a 50-50. What if it doesn't? What if it dumps all the way down to 37.12, which is your next major support under the channel? So it's like it's in this area where it could easily pull back into the channel, or it could easily just continue falling. It really is like a 50-50 with the market. I don't see any high probability answer right now, unless you get some sort of great catalyst, which there's a few things potentially. The jobs report, Powell speaking tomorrow, and then stimulus. But maybe those could be bad catalysts too. Like it's just so hard to tell ahead of time. I'm just really taking it hour by hour, day by day, with the market. How's the chart look for UWMC moving forward? It's a little bit tough. It already hit the target. Usually whenever a trade hits the target, I just give it a few weeks for it to start creating more data. Same thing with Fisker. Like Fisker hit the target. So after something goes up like crazy and it hits the target, like Fisker was like a 40-something%. UWMC was a 51%. After something hits the target like that and it's a straight line up, it's really hard to tell. Like, could you just continue going up because of the hype? Yes. But could you dump further because of people taking profits? Yes. Just until you get more data, it's really, you don't get a high probability answer to either side. And yeah, that goes over all the trades and market and Bitcoin. Hopefully that helped. Let's get to 40 likes real quick. So if you haven't hit that like button, make sure to do so if you choose to do so, right? And if you want to subscribe, let me check how many subscribers we're at. We are at 2288. So if we have 12 people in the stream out of the 55 here that have not subscribed and you're enjoying the technicals and the talk about the market, maybe consider hitting the red subscribe button. It's just one click, and then you can get free analysis every single night. Go for it if you want to. Thank you for the 40 likes. Thank you, Rooster, for dropping the links in the description. On the description in the chat. And then the other links. The first link in the description is if you want to sign up for a one-on-one class, which I've talked about a couple of times in the stream. First link in the description. And then the link that's pinned in the chat is if you want to send me a tip or get some merchandise. Any tips, merchandise, will pop up on the stream. It'll say your name, you can send a message, and you can request a ticker, whatever you want to do if you choose to support the stream through the pinned chat. The VIX has gone green to red at least 5 times far. I haven't seen it. I usually don't look at the VIX futures. The thing about the VIX is it really, you know, it's a lagging, how to put it, it's like a lagging, just like volatility depends on what the market does. Does that make sense? It's like this fine line where, like, if the market's volatile, it's going to go up. And it's bad if it goes up, but that's because the market's not doing well, right? But at the same time, you definitely can use the VIX to try and see what historically happens when it's at these levels. So you can use it to predict the future, even though it's kind of giving you like a lagging answer to the market. Does that make sense? But if we go on like the weekly on the VIX, you can see that you pretty much just got to that first supply zone. Like if you really zoom out on the weekly, there's 2 different zones of supply. The first one is kind of between 28 and 35. That's like the first potential reversal area for the VIX. And if you ever break that, your next potential reversal area is kind of between 45 and 50. Just based on the history, if it gets to 45 and 50, I have no clue how bad the market's going to be, but probably not great. So yeah, not too sure. But during March last year, it went up all the way to 85. Wow, 86 almost. Spooky for sure. Oh yeah, we can talk about the QQQ as well. It did break the support today. So the QQQ honestly looks worse than the S&P 500 in my opinion. It was in this range. We were talking about it last night on the stream. It was in a range between 310 and 325. And unfortunately, it broke to the bottom. Your next support on the QQQ, kind of like 305. 305 is like your next actual support. Broke to the downside. And futures are continuing to drop. S&P futures are now down 0.5%. I'm hoping just as well as many of you are, I'm sure, but you have to always have a plan if it continues to drop. So please remember, you know, you can give me 2 different traders, right? You can give me one trader who's really, really good at making gains, but blows half of his account on one bad day. And then you can give me another trader who makes decent profits pretty consistently, nothing too crazy, but on the red days it loses very, very little. And I choose a second trader as like a better trader. Why? I think it's a lot more impressive to lose very little on red days than I think it is impressive to make a lot of money on green days. Like, you know, that's one thing. Like, there's 2 parts to trading, and unfortunately for a lot of new traders who just started trading in the last year, the main part that they got to trading was trying to make the most amount of money possible in as little amount of time as possible. But you know, people need to understand that there's always 2 sides to supply and demand, and if you start heading into the supply, well, you already did, but instead of, you know, the mindset being how much money can I make today, if you are in a true bear market, the mindset does change to how much money could I lose today, right? And if that mindset is changing for every single market participant, it leads to panic, right? When you want to preserve your capital, just like literally anybody who's trading wants to do. So you really have to understand that even if the market does rally tomorrow or the rest of the week and the bull market continues, the money printer if the money printer keeps continuing, the market just keeps going up like a straight line. Even if it does right now, at some point it's going to change. And you just need to understand that it's not only going to go up forever. At some point, whether it's tomorrow or in a year from now, a bear market is going to start. This market's not going to last forever, and you need to have a plan. Because you don't want to give up the gains that you made in the last year. If you made gains, and if you did not make gains in the last year, you want to learn how to make gains in the market. So timing, it's all about timing. You can't you know, 100% time the market every single time, but you can put yourself in a position where no matter what the market does, you're not risking your whole account. That's the whole entire idea. It's definitely, in my opinion, more impressive to be better at managing risk and losing very little than it is to make crazy gains. So that's that. Holding Tesla at 787, bad move. Talking about Tesla last night. Oh my gosh, it was down 5% today. It's out of support right now, believe it or not. Tesla's actually out of support. It was your candle high on December 9th of last year. I don't know what happened after hours, but if you really can hold this area, if the market is falling again tomorrow, I doubt it, but if somehow it does hold this area, you can create hidden bullish divergence and have a nice run. But this is another make or break area for Tesla. Just like most of the indexes, a lot of particular stocks are at make or break areas, and you're very, very close to breaking huge supports. I mean, you technically already did on the QQQ. It wasn't a huge support you broke, it was like a short term, but you have to realize when things are going up like this, unfortunately, it does not allow you to create major supports on the way, because to create a major support, you need to be going sideways for a good amount of time rather than only going up. That's unfortunately why, you know, a lot of stocks that go up super quickly drop super quickly, like Clover, like CCIV, you know, just a bunch of different things. Even though, yes, Tesla has been going up pretty consistently rather than just like one crazy pump. But yeah, I just want everybody to be prepared well, not if, but when at some point things really do like actually take a shift. I mean, just to put this into perspective, the market did not have an insane fall in the last few weeks. Okay, let me show you this. The market fell 3%. Yes, that's a pretty good big pullback on an index, but you had a bigger pullback literally at the end of January, and it happened much faster. If anybody remembers, from January going into February, there was like a 3-day very, very big pullback, but then right after you had a crazy V-shaped rally, went to all-time highs. But if we really go back in time, we can look at, I think it was September or October, like even during the bull market, like during this bull market, you've had much bigger pullbacks. You had a 9% pullback in October of 2020. So you can just, and this is during the bull run. This is not even during the COVID crash, even back in June. So during this actual bull run, you've had bigger pullbacks. So I'm saying so a lot, but just remember, it's all about being in for the long run, not being in for 1 year and then giving it all back. It's about holding into this market for years and years and years and years. That's how the rich get rich over time, you know, because making money very, very quickly, it messes with your mindset. And unless you're able to preserve it, like I think there's a statistic where it's like most of the people who win the lottery end up losing like all of it within like 5 years or something. Has anybody heard that? It's like not the same thing with the market, but like it's similar. Like you want to be able to understand that it's all about not where your account is tomorrow, but where your account is in years. And you need to adjust to think about that, even if you're a day trader. I definitely want to, you know, focus a lot more on just trading psychology and mindset tonight because of what's happening in the market, rather than like looking at individual charts. Because honestly, looking at individual charts right now, it doesn't matter too much. It just more matters about what the overall market does on a macro sense than like looking at technicals on some small cap company or something like that. I've actually only been trading for about a year, but in the last year, like I've really like dedicated my time to this, right? Even before I ever started streaming or putting out trades, I was already spending like 8 hours a day trading and learning about trading. Like literally all of last summer, like probably it was like my life. That's all I'm gonna say. It still is my life. So like this is my life. Even though I've only been doing it for a year, like it's been my life. Like it's over any other thing I do, including college. Hope my parents don't hear that, but it is. We got Jeff Saxton in here. How you doing? Yeah, those 3 days at the end of January, I remember them. Cheddar Free says, work on money management, growth of capital, study to be a better trader. Making money first is what new traders think of only. Yeah. Just to reiterate, if you want to sign up for the one-on-one class, you've already had about 5 or 6 people sign up today, and I just opened them back up. It's the first link in the description. Their classes are only going to be up for a limited time only, until I get busy with college work again, which is probably soon because I have a project. But yeah, that really recaps everything. That's my thoughts on everything. And I think we can do some taker requests now. We've been live for about an hour almost. Yeah. You want me to take a look at a chart? I'm going to look at a few. I'm probably going to be skipping a lot of ones tonight. Because it just matters more about the macro than most of these charts, unfortunately. When things are this volatile, the indexes matter a lot more than the specific stocks you're trading a lot of the time. There are definitely needles in the haystack, for sure, but it's just pretty hard to find them. That's why they're needles in the haystack, and we can give it a shot. But futures bouncing a little bit again. How is Facebook looking? Your support, it's actually falling under the 200-day moving average. Your next support on Facebook is 245 from this low right here, from this low right here, and from this resistance. No divergence on the 4-hour or the daily. Minimum volume for trades, for me it's like 500k, but I do make exceptions if a chart looks really, really good. X1, I have no clue on this one. If you really want me to give you some sort of an answer, this is your support. If you fall under the low from February 23rd, take caution, because I don't think you have another support for a very long time after that. XBIO. This one looks like it has a very, very low volume. It does. Your support is like 235. If you fall under that, take caution. Potential hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour and the daily, but you need to pivot like right here to actually create that. Hey, we got Mike in here. Awesome. I saw your tweet about UWMC this morning. Great job, Mike. Glad to hear you were in on that. CVX is pretty interesting. It was such a good entry right here. It was double bottoming. Oh my gosh, if you would have requested this chart right here, it was double bottoming off of the 200-day moving average with Class B, classic bullish divergence. Beautiful, and that's what happens. That's what happens. And it even broke the major steel wall of resistance at 96. Now it's just messing around with this little high over here from last summer. If it breaks it, this is Chevron. If it really breaks this level, I think it's going to go to 110. That's just your next resistance. But if it pulls back with the rest of the market, your next support is 96. So your make or break area. You break this, I say you're going to 110. If you cannot break this, I say you're going back down to 96. Blue. We need 6 more likes for 50 likes. Blue is messing with the 200-day moving average. If you break it, you could get a nice move. A little bit of daily divergence potentially. Not on the 4-hour though. Yeah, it's just convergence. Convergence just means the MACD is going up, the RSI is going up, and the price is going up. But I think more than anything, it's just struggling with this 200-day. If it breaks it, you could, I think your next resistance. Go back to the daily. Yeah, like 454-ish from like these highs. MJ. I really don't know on this one. I mean, this is your support. If you fall under it, take caution. If you fall under the low from February 23rd, take caution. That's really all I can give you here because of how volatile it is. I actually don't like how it's under 23, 26. I mean, under 23 bucks. You would definitely want to get back above 23. That's that was your support. Tesla depends on, yeah, Tesla's at a make or break area as well. CCIV to $17 to $20. I'd genuinely be surprised. I don't think CCIV goes under 20 unless the market continues to dump. That's the only way I see that happening, but I could be wrong. I'm just a person. FRX, really not enough data on this chart for me to give you an answer. I'm sorry, it's just I need a lot more data to work with. There's not even a MACD yet. PayPal just selling off with the rest of tech. It's trying to hold, so it's really creating a support right over here, and it's trying to hold this previous high from the end of January. If it falls under it, I think you're going to go back down to 244. It was your high from the end of 2020. If you can pivot here, your next resistance is 277, which was your high from March. It was your high from yesterday. Wow, PayPal really fell. It was down 5%. Yo, what should I buy? I can't give you a direct answer ever, but you want trade alerts that are not financial advice and just solely my opinion, join the Discord. The link's in the description. Your resistance on SLGG is $6. Your support is 484. Kind of in between them. Makes it a little bit tough. AMRX. Kind of looks like an ascending triangle, believe it or not. Okay. Here you have a sell wall at 552, and then you have an upsloping demand line. As long as you're over this green demand line, you're good, but there's a lot of more room to downside, like another 10-15% just to get to the demand line. But long term, it looks pretty nice. Workhorse, didn't they get crushed with the, I think, was it FedEx or UPS or some sort of news that they didn't get the contract? Forgot what it was exactly, but this is a major support. It was your low over here, your low over here, and it's trying to hold it. 14, really it's just more of this range. Like, you really don't want to fall under $14. As long as you can hold over 14, you're good. But if you fall under 14, you're probably going to dump much further. You're probably, like, you could probably see 11.50 if you fall under 14. Like, and like with confirmation. Zillow is trying to hold these previous highs as a support. It's not doing a great job. It already fell under the local support from right over here. If it can't hold this support, I think it has room all the way down to like the 130s, 120s. If it can't hold the support, your next resistance is 170. Just comes down to that. I need to start sitting up. Do you notice how, like, when I'm charting, I go like this? That's just a terrible habit. Oh, so it was USPS that they didn't get the contract with. SYN. I mean, it's out of support. Sure. You fall under this little, if you fall under like 60 cents, take caution. If you don't, then your next resistance is 75 cents. VISL, this one's a little bit tough. You are developing potential hidden bullish divergence on the daily and on the 4-hour pretty nicely, but you're in the middle of a range, so it kind of makes it a 50-50. I mean, like it's a little bit, I'd give a little bit of an edge to the bulls because of the divergence, but market falls. I mean, on all these tickers, if the market falls, whatever I say doesn't really matter. I can't really analyze the chart like this. It's just not how I trade. It's just way too volatile. Sorry about that. Sun W, when was I looking at this? So I guess Sun W was looking good. I almost lined up a trade for it. Yeah. It's trying to hold this $13 support. It's showing hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. and on the daily. But yeah, it looks fine if the market can hold. Again, if the market doesn't hold, it doesn't really matter. If you fall under 13, I mean, really, if you fall under 1250, take caution. Just gonna delete that for now. 1250 is like your 2 candle lows. You actually want to look at USPS? No, I don't know if they have like an actual ticker, unless you're just talking about the workhorse contract, which is what I think you are. I think I'm gonna stop doing OTC stocks, unfortunately, just because it's just, and I'm sorry for the people who trade OTC, but like every single time I get an OTC stock, for the most part, I just skip them because it's not how I learned to trade. It's not my style of trading, and what I do here is kind of teach my style. So it's just like whenever I get an OTC, whatever I say doesn't really matter, and I don't know anything about the actual company. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually just start completely rejecting them, but just like a general word of advice, most of the time if you request an OTC, I'm not really gonna be able to give you an answer. Yeah. Holds 231, I really like it, because if it holds 231, you can eventually create hidden bullish divergence on the daily, and not on the 4 hour. Well, no. But yeah, 231 was your resistance right over here on this high and on this high. As long as you're over 231, you're good. I have no clue on OCGN, way too volatile. I can see it going either way. And TXMD is a pretty nice divergence, not gonna lie. It's just kind of holding support at the 200-day moving average. You really don't want to fall under this on this like local low. You want this to be low so you can confirm the divergence, and then you could go crazy. I mean, your next resistance is 167. After 167, it's 184. But you really want this low to hold, and I think earnings might have been yesterday or something. Check the Ortex on Rocket. I don't know what an Ortex is. Gosh. Short percent. Float. Days to cover is so great. Rocket. I mean, yeah, I put out the alert on Rocket at 20 bucks, but it just went a lot crazier than I expected. Rocket at this point is like, I can see Rocket going either way. Yes, it fell 33% today, so it could bounce tomorrow, but at the same time, it's already trading multiples higher than it was just, or pretty much trading like, I don't even know how to do the math, like 70% higher than it was just like last week. Like, let me show you real quick. Like, on one hand, there's 2 different ways to look at it. Like, you know, the bull would look at it like this. Oh my gosh, Rocket just fell 35% in one day. It's on sale. But then a bear would look at it like this. Well, Rocket just did go up 50% in like 2 days. I don't know if it's back at a value area yet. So it's like, that's the 50-50 you get when things are just this straight up, straight down. So it just really makes it a coin flip, because you can look at it from either perspective, right? There's not like an edge to one side. It can go either way without being surprised. Do technicals work best for small, med, large cap? I think it works best for mid caps and large caps. I don't think technicals work great on small caps. Just because, you know, technicals, the study of technical analysis, when people in the 20th century were really developing this whole entire craft of technical analysis, they were studying the big names, the blue chip companies, the Coca-Colas, I guess when Apple was a stock, Apple, stuff like that, big name companies, Ford, GE, things like that. It's what they built this study off of. So they made it for things like that because that's the data that they were using to create it. Does that make sense? So when you're trying to apply that to something with low volume or just a low company size or low market cap, small market cap, it definitely can work, because all you're doing when you're doing technicals is visualizing the psychology of traders, but it doesn't work with the same probability because there's less people trading that, right? When you have less people trading it, it's not the same exact it's not the same flow, it's not the same psychology that you're used to analyzing. So that was Rocket. Then we have We looked at those two. Gosh, it's gone crazy. I mean, your support right here is 66.41. As long as you're over $67, you're good. But you're showing resistance right over here. So major support is at 66.50, and then your resistance is $80, which is like a potential double top, but it keeps getting validated. Yeah, you want nice volume. Exactly. Flossetti definitely knows what I'm talking about. Good job. Game PvP says, watch the first 3 episodes of your course. Might buy the one-on-one. Been learning the past month or two. Had a few good plays, but a few more bad ones. Yeah, I mean, the last month especially has been very different than the last year in the market. Pretty much, the market was on a very, very nice run, except the one bad month. The 2 bad months in this bull run were October 2020 and then February of 2021. So the trades last month still crushed it, except for like one of the weeks was horrible last month. I had my worst week ever last month. But other than that, like I've been putting out trades for 4 months, and I think we've only had like 1 technical bad week, but still that my worst week ever for the trades was still net positive. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that the winning trades, the percentage gains from those winning trades was higher than the percentage losses from the losing trades on the worst week I ever had. But yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. If you want to sign up, it's the first link in the description. I think the classes help, but of course, I guess I'm biased by saying that. But we've already ran like 25 classes when I was initially doing them in January. And from all the experiences I had in the classes, I do believe that they genuinely helped all the people who took them. Because, you know, when I'm streaming, it's just kind of, I have to give general answers to a lot of these questions and charts just to try and teach everybody a little bit or just give my opinion. But when you're doing a one-on-one, like I can directly help you out based on where you are at as a trader. Like I've had one-on-one classes with people who have been trading for like a week, but I've also had one-on-one classes with people who've been trading for longer than I have. So however I can help, I always try my best. And then I also go in depth on like my process of trading, much more than I ever have on stream. So it's like, I really, like if somebody's going to be giving me an hour of their time, I'm really going out of my way to provide as much value as I can during that hour. And I just have to put the paywall on it. I just have to, because if I made it free, it would just be too many people signing up, and I obviously don't have enough time to be doing, 20 one-on-one classes a day or whatever the number would be if they were free. And then again, just like the value from it, I do believe that you could make a lot more than $40 with what I'm providing in that class within days. I mean, it depends on your trading size. It could be within minutes. I'm not trying to go too into it. For some people who are trading with less money, it just depends on your situation. And I'm never one to be criticizing anybody's situation. So all I'm saying is I do believe that it's worth what you're paying for. A little bit biased, sure, but the value. That's my main point. What do you click for the support resistance line? I just have a mouse with like a bunch of buttons on it. So I kind of just hotwired them. I don't know the right word to use. Mapped them. Missing a few. Yeah, we got a lot. The one-on-one is worth it. Thank you, Mr. J Long, for the testimonial. Appreciate it. So that's Gush. Trying to see where I left off. This is gonna be like the last round of ticket requests. Okay. TRCH, MSTR, skills. Chewy. I can't remember that harmonic. I know somebody messaged me in the Discord about it. Might have been you. I can't remember the harmonic. I was looking at it today and I was like, which one was I talking about? On Chewy. What do I use to trade? Well, to chart, I use TradingView, and then to trade, I use a bunch of different platforms. Just depends on what you're talking about, game PvP. Sometimes it makes more sense to just cut losses quickly and just find better trades. Other times things can go up if you just wait long enough. It's like a case by case. Every stock is different, right? And I forgot, somebody in the Discord was actually telling me to kind of talk about this, but like, just because two stocks are the same price, I think it was Rooster actually who was asking me to talk about this, which I can. Just because two stocks are the same price does not mean that they're the same type of company, right? You have a $10 stock and another $10 stock. Oh, the first stock can be worth, you know, what's it called? 5 billion, right? It could have a 5 billion market cap. The second stock could have a 1 billion market cap. One stock could have great earnings, another stock could have terrible earnings. You always want to know like what you're trading, because you know some things dip and then rip, and then other things dip and then dip and then dip and then clover. But yeah. What are you talking about? Oh, you're asking for like the hotkey for it. Yeah. It is it's whatever. Well, I use a Mac, so for me it's like Option and then H, but if you're on a computer it is Alt E and then H for the horizontal line. Guy tipped you on stream was someone you said you're not familiar with. I can't remember that. I'm so confused right now. I'm so sorry. But yeah, Richard was definitely telling me to talk about that. Just for people to realize it, right? Everything is case by case when you're trading stocks. Every stock is different. Every stock trades differently. And that's why trading the same stock time and time again can really help you understand it. For example, Fisker. I've probably traded Fisker. Well, I have, you know, the long-term trade, but like on short-term trades, I probably day traded Fisker like over 100 times. I probably swing traded Fisker over like 30 times. Like I've traded Fisker so many times. And now at this point, like I genuinely believe that I have like a 90% accuracy on predicting what's moving with what's the next move on Fisker, because I really understand how that stock moves. Like, and I kind of tweeted about this earlier. A lot of stocks just come down to experience and understanding how quickly the price moves, how much the price moves, what makes the price go up, what makes the price go down, right? Every stock is a different company and therefore trades differently. Yeah, I do. I separate accounts for Fisker long term. It's in a Roth IRA, and then for my swing trades and day trades, that's in a completely different account. I know I'm falling behind on these sticker requests, but just some great questions in the chat, and I appreciate it. If you want to send me a tip or get some merch, that's the pinned chat. And if you want to sign up for one-on-one class, that's the first link in the description. The reason for separating accounts is just to not mess up average cost. Because if I have a long-term position that was entered at the butterfly when Fisker was $9, I don't want to be raising my average cost because I'm trying to day trade it when it's at $20. Does that make sense? A lot of people do the same exact thing for Bitcoin, where they got in Bitcoin at $3,000, $4,000, and they have a separate holding account for Bitcoin and then a trading account for Bitcoin, so they don't mess up their average cost. Because if you get in Fisker when it's $9, every time it goes up 90 cents, you're making a 10% profit. But if you get in Fisker at $20, you needed to move $2 to make a 10% profit because it's trading at a higher multiple, right? That's like a very basic version of compounding. And also just helps with psychology, because then you don't really have to be worrying if Fisker is down 10% one day when you were in at a much lower average cost. So hopefully that covers all of the questions in chat. I know we have a few more charts to look at. All right, I'm probably going to be missing on a few charts. I can't get to them all, but I'm going to try and do a few that I already have here. ERCH. Let me go on the daily. I I'd say your support's like 241. If you fall under 241, then it's 185. And you don't have a pattern, you don't have divergence. MSTR, very similar chart to the last one. You are just in literally you've been in space. I mean, this thing went from $90 all the way to $1,300 down to $731. Yes, it's developing hidden bullish divergence on the daily. This is like your support right here. You do not want to fall under 650. That's already like more than 10% away from you. So it's a little bit hard to trade, but you are showing some hidden bullish divergence. So hope the market doesn't continue falling. Skills. This is like a very interesting range where it was once resistance and now it's your support. If you fall under it, bearish. If you can hold above it, bullish. That simple, and no divergence. Chewy. This was the harmonic we were talking about. I guess you have to look at it something like, I think it was a cipher you said, so let me use the cipher tool. Right, and then you get the golden retrace and you come up here. But the PCZ, let me check what the PCZ has to be on the cipher. Okay. It could have been this as the PCZ right here. But again, you bounced off of it, but then you dumped again. So I'm not too sure. And then another way to look at it, well, I guess it has to be that. That's your 786, because on the PCZ, your D point is supposed to be higher than your X point. I guess maybe here it still is. But 1618 would be lower. I think this invalidates it, honestly. Because you wanted this to be your PCZ, the 786 from X to D. Because now if you're going for the next potential PCZ, the 1618, like you're talking about down at $84. And that just kind of looks like it invalidates it because X is supposed to be lower than D, but I'm not the harmonics master by any means. I'm literally using a cheat sheet right now, just my opinion. Don't like how it fell under 98 though, and I think your next support is 86. So yeah, that was your swing low right here. It was your candle high right there. That's like the next support I'm looking at. On Chewy, Frog, all-time low. Not good. Let's see if it's at a fib level maybe. Past the 1618 a little bit. It's at a potential golden ratio, but if you fall much lower, I'm not too sure. Your 2618 is like way lower. So unless you get back over 57, I think it's a little bit bearish. You just don't have an actual physical support. What is this song? Okay. No, the average cost is not psychological. That actually does matter. Yeah, Roth IRA has I believe a $6,000 a year contribution. So, but yeah, feel like we got almost everything. Feel like it was a good stream. How long was I live for? Pretty much the normal stream time. If you want to sign up for a one-on-one class, okay, time to do it is soon. That's all I'm saying, because I didn't like how a lot of people wanted the one-on-one classes in February and I had to say no to everybody. It's just I truly did not have enough time. But for now, I have time on my hands. So please, if you want to, don't DM me in 3 weeks saying, why are the one-on-one classes closed? Because I'm saying ahead of time now that it is limited time. It's not like a forever thing. So yeah, I don't know. It just depends on how many classes are signed up. We've already had 5 or 6 people sign up today. I think once we get to like, 20-ish, I'll probably have to pause the classes. I don't know. Maybe it just depends on how long I stay free. It's just, there's too many things the classes depend on in terms of my time. It depends on how many people sign up. It depends on how long my schedule is free. It depends on, what my days look like. So I don't know how long it's going to be open, but if you want the opportunity, it's open for now. no matter what, if you sign up in the next couple of days, you're definitely going to be getting a class. And you're going to get my full trading style, like from start to finish, my whole entire process, very in-depth. I've never talked about it fully. I made a few videos about my swing trading process, but they don't go fully in. So you're gonna get the whole entire trading process, and you can ask me any direct questions. You can't really ask me direct questions for an hour on the stream because I'm pretty much talking through the chat. I'm not talking to you directly, but we can definitely personalize the call based on where you are as a trader and what you need help with. And yeah, bot space, that was before Compact with the $40 donation. I think you were signing up for the class because it's $40. So let me just verify that you just signed up. Yeah, you did. So you did just Compact. I'll just check it later, but you also typed in a ticker. I'm a little bit confused. That's like the price for the class, but you also typed in the ticker LUV, which is Southwest Airlines. So I'm just going to go over either way, even if you weren't talking about the ticker. But appreciate the $40. Oh, you're Compact. Oh, okay. So were you requesting Love, Southwest Airlines? Yeah, for the class, great. I'll everybody who signed up for the class, I'll reach out to you after the stream finishes and try to get something scheduled. What days are the one-on-one classes? Whenever I'm free and whenever you're free. So yeah, for the next week or two, I'm pretty free most days, except for the only 2 days I'm not really free is Tuesday and Thursday. Any day except for Tuesday and Thursday, I'm pretty much good to go. Oh, love equals love. All right, appreciate it, Game PvP. Look forward to the class, but yeah, regardless, on Southwest Airlines, because I'm already here, it's at a make or break area. It's a pretty big resistance from 2019 and 2020. If it breaks this resistance, it has room all the way up to $64. If it cannot break the resistance, the next support is 53. That's, I don't know. So appreciate you signing up. Appreciate all the people who signed up. If you want to send me a tip, if you want to get some merchandise, I dropped a new piece yesterday, which was the Fisker butterfly logo, right? It's on a t-shirt. If you want to get that logo on a t-shirt, hit the pinned comment in the chat and it'll take you to the merchandise and tip website. That butterfly was when Fisker was $9 and it went to $32 like this week. So pretty meaningful. Yeah, if you want to sign up for a one-on-one class, first link in the description. Limited time only. And I think that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you for all the support. Great chat tonight. Great questions. Awesome tickers. Appreciate all the support. Just trying to learn and be better. Got to change the YouTube name. Yeah, for sure. It's all about learning. 100%. And hopefully the call helps out. I assure you that it will. Not even hopefully. I assure you that it will. Guarantee. Love Vigilante with the $40 also signed up for the one-on-one class. See, this is what I'm saying. The classes fill up quick because I truly believe that the value is really, really there. So for all the people who, you know, are considering it, when the classes get too filled up and I just simply don't have more time to do 1 hour classes, I'm going to have to pause them. So that's why I'm saying, like, it probably is going to be like the first 20 people to sign up that are going to be able to get classes. And we already have like 7 or 8 people signed up today. Yeah, appreciate everybody who is signing up. That does support me as well, which means a lot. And awesome. That's going to do it for today. Appreciate all the support. Check out all the links in the description. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you, or I'll see you, or we're all going to see each other tomorrow night for the final stream of the week. Have a great night. Trade safely tomorrow. I'm hoping things turn around, but futures are still down 0.5%. And we'll just take it day by day. We're going to get through this no matter what. Manage your risk. Peace out. Have a great night. And I'll see you later.